I'm Chase.
And I'm Timothy.
And this is Customer Service.
All right. Welcome to Customer Service.
From your favorite Boulder-based multi-brand retailer, Canoe Club.
We're content creators at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah,
That's
man.
what we're doing.
You know.
That's what we're doing.
How are we doing?
Content. Oh, not good.
Yeah, you slept poorly last night, huh?
I slept poorly. I don't like the weather change. I'm in a crabby mood because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know when you're in a crabby mood, but I couldn't really pinpoint any one reason why. It's just, you know.
Yeah, just sleeping poorly.
Didn't sleep great. Just fucking, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Off.
I'll tell you what, I'm coming around to actually beginning to sleep now that the whole weed debacle, I feel like I'm tapering out of it, having it out of my system, and I can sleep now. I'm sleeping through the night for the last 2 nights. Still some crazy-ass dreams, but nothing too bad.
Nothing too serious?
No. I think I said it. My mom listens to this. Mom, I had a dream that you were being persuaded to join some sort of cult. Doesn't feel like you, but I could also... You're so innocent and maybe easily swayed, so don't join a cult.
Why'd you get in the way of her happiness? Maybe she was trying to join that cult.
Yeah.
Not all cults are bad, right?
They're all bad.
Well, I mean, what's the difference between that and the ones that aren't bad?
Yeah, they're all bad.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm happy to report we're drinking cigarette
ashtray,
tea.
Yeah. Ashtray tea.
Yeah.
And it really does smell like an ashtray in here right now.
Yeah, no, It does. It's nice and warm, though, so it's a good, warm cigarette smell.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say I didn't like it. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
What did we ever figure out what it's called?
Somebody said
Hojicha or something?
It's a hojicha. It's roasted, but it's filtered with charcoal or something.
Yeah, that's right.
I need to just like definitively know it, but nonetheless, we're going soon, so maybe we can drop into a little tea house or something of the sort.
Back to Japan. Are you feeling excited?
Feeling excited about it. I'm feeling anxious because we got to board our dog, and he can be a nasty little fucker. But then the thing is, too, like I think sometimes he's feeding off my anxiety around him, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't like love everybody. But then also some people he's fine with. So a little bit of that. But beyond that, really excited. We're back in Shibuya. I was looking kind of where we are on the map. It's like, bro, it's like a couple minute walk from where we stayed last when you had your...
Oh, yeah, I know. It's close.
Near-death experience, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to... The NDE really set me back on being interested in maybe travel in general, but I understand it was an isolated incident, but I'm certainly feeling anxious about doing it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it'll be fine. I will say, I think you and I were wrong. I talked to Abby yesterday. We are not flying to Minnesota first. We're flying to LA.
Yeah. Is it on the way back or something? Or maybe that was like an option on the
I think we were looking at options to maybe game the seat selection, but I think we ultimately did LA. I hope, dude.
I know it's that way out of there.
LA.
Yeah.
And we have now we are diamond status, so we get to fuck around in the lounges, and I'm excited for that.
I'm not letting you in the lounge. Actually, to be honest with you, I got to look. How many people can we get into the lounge is the question.
Yeah. Man.
I only got 2 cards.
We could switch them out, like kids at high school football games,
Well, you go in there and it's like a buffet, so your ass is going to be
about 12 cheeseburgers.
Yeah. I mean, the nice part is it's quiet, which is nice. So that's good.
No, it'd be cool. Hopefully, we can all go in there. I just want to find a spot to lay down. I know we have like a sizable layover one of those days.
It's on the way back. On the way out, it's tight.
Okay. And again, it's better to have a sizable one than what we did last time. I'd rather have to wait for a couple hours.
The one
than
on the way
run.
Back is long, which is good.
Assuming there's going to be delays and shit. There likely will be. So
we were in that airport for so long on the way back because I remember
in Tokyo.
I made you leave at 9 a.m. and our flight wasn't.
For the record, 5. I would have preferred to do that too. What are we going to do? Walk around with all of our shit in Tokyo?
I told you, I needed out of there. Yeah. I was going to leave one way.
You're like, listen,
you
buddy,
want to keep hanging out, you do that, but my body needs to feel like we are going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And hanging out around town is not it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have even handled it.
No.
Plus, at the airport, that's where I found pain reliever, which really helped.
Yeah. What are they able to skirt around some sort of situation?
I don't know
why it was there and you can't get it.
It was low dose, but I just took a ton. Yeah. But I needed something so that I could get the.
And that was the first time you had some solid food at that point too.
Well, I think it's the first time I wasn't like in pain too, which helped like be interested in food.
Yeah.
No, we don't need to go down this road again.
So we took it easy in the airport. But I'm looking forward to it this time. I'm excited Michelle gets to come. Abby and Jared come, and I think it's going to be a real hoot. Speaking of which, a mental note for you and I to do some work. We got to shoot some emails. Let's link up with some people that we want to touch base with. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're really close to the Nerds record store. I think I said that last pod. Really excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I feel like it's nice in one way that I've gotten a lot of like the initial travel to Japan stuff out of my way. Like we've done quite a bit of shopping. I mean, I'm sure we'll do more, obviously, but like I don't feel like frantic about trying to get a lot of things done.
No.
Like I know what's there.
I have 3 things I want to do. I want conveyor belt sushi because I have not done that yet, or sushi in any regard in Japan. But I want to have a lot of it. You know what I mean? So. Whether we spend a lot of money or we find a volume kind of thing, I want a lot of sushi. I still would like some proper curry, like rice and curry, you know what I mean? Japanese curry. And then I do want to go back to Daimaru. I said that. It's where we ultimately had that lunch, but I want to go back there because I feel like it was
I'm not going into the
wild.
halls where the food is.
No, that's fine.
I'll eat from that, grocery store space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, also, me and Michelle are going to go into... you guys are welcome to join. I want to go into like an actual grocery store. You know what I'm saying?
I have videos of you going in and out of grocery stores.
No. I mean like a supermarket. There was one little fruit market I went into or something.
We went to a supermarket. We talked the whole time about if you suddenly moved to Japan, it would be like it's starting life over entirely because nothing at the grocery store looks familiar.
No, you're right. You're right. So, but I want to do that again, and I specifically. I want a bunch of fruit this time because I can remember last time we went at this point in the year to Kyoto, there was a lot of fruit that I passed up just because we didn't understand how much money we had to spend. We ended up not spending enough, you know what I mean? But we didn't understand how much we had to spend, so I was being frugal, like, I don't need more grapes or this fruit that I saw called a loquat that I wanted to try. So I'm going to fuck around and try a bunch of fruit. Other than that, man, I truly am a passenger. Like, we'll do our work, but whatever everyone else wants to get into, I'm down to just kind of mill around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like nice in a way that this doesn't really feel like our trip this time. I mean, now the difference is you and I are very laid back. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we can mill around and not have a purpose. We're perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, you and I
don't know about the other travelers as much.
Yeah.
So I don't love that but
it'll be fine.
We're much more go with the flow.
Yeah, very much so. Because you and I were like, well, I don't care. What do you want to do? Well, I don't care. What do you want to do?
We're like those crows from I can't think of what movie it is. The old Disney movie. I don't know where they're trying to. I don't care where they're trying to like decide what to do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You and I have talked about this off air, I believe, maybe on air as well. Also, I have to tell that story about Jaybird and the citizen's arrest. Let me not forget. But
people on pins and needles.
When I own a home, one thing I want to do is befriend a murder of crows, if you will, because aren't crows the ones that they'll bring you offerings and you can like form relationships with them?
I don't know.
It's either crows or ravens. I don't think it's ravens. I think it's crows. They can recognize faces, and you can form relationships with them where like they kind of like will watch over you in like a good way. Like they like you, and they'll bring you shiny objects. And I have a fascination with birds in general because I think they're so different than everything else. You know what I mean? Not just because they fly. I think they're freaky and kind of scary, and they have a way about them. So I'm going to befriend some crows at some point in my life. Really looking forward to that.
You live in a fantasy world, I think, sometimes where you're going to befriend a group of crows.
Hold on. I'm going to just real quick. Can you make friends with crows?
I was at the movie theater on Friday, and we were getting out of the car, and I think it must be a raven that has like the longer beak,
Wait, where were you?
At the movie theater.
Okay.
Like in the parking garage.
Yeah.
And I think it was a raven. This bird, guy, was fucking this big.
Yeah.
Its wingspan was as big as mine.
Dude, I don't doubt it.
It was walking around in the rafters,
Yeah.
And it would kind of like do a little hop from one to another. And when it did, its arms would go out and you were just like, oh my God, dude, that is uncomfortable. It was like as big as a raccoon.
I completely understand.
It's scary looking.
The Safeway, cool. 28th and Iris, can you picture that little area?
Yeah, I can go there in my memory palace.
There used to be one.
It looks like every Safeway. Yeah.
No, but that one in particular. There used to be a raven, like, stood much, 2 of those past life picture frames, like same thing. And I would stand out there. I would before going just look at that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're much bigger than you think, especially when it's like that close to you.
Yeah, long ass beak too. You know.
Yeah, you're like if that thing came at you, you'd have to like it wouldn't just be like a swatted away thing. You'd have to like wrestle with it.
Oh yeah, totally, dude.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
That shouldn't be airborne.
Here, real quick, some information. Yes, you can befriend crows, but it takes patience and time. Here are some tips for befriending a crow. Got to be patient. You got to establish a routine. If you give them food daily and regularly, they will know that. Protein-based treats they like. They like roasted, unsalted peanuts. Place treats in tricky locations. It can trick them into working for it. And don't do harm. So don't feed them excessively, capture them, or make them reliant on you. But then they'll bring you gifts. And man, there's nothing that I think is cooler than the idea of befriending a crow or two.
You're gonna be rich in corpses, I imagine.
What do you mean?
They're gonna. What else could they give you? It's not gonna be cash.
No,
prizes.
shiny things they find.
What?
That's what it says. They'll give you objects, wrappers and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not like they have I'm not looking for the presents in a monetary value sort of way. It's more in like the emotional way. You know what I mean? It's the thought that counts.
Are you okay? I feel like you've gone a really roundabout way to get something to admire you.
I just think it's cool. I think it's cool. It's like I wanted to
great.
build the shelter for the rabbits on our property and our rental property. So nonetheless, I'm happy you saw it.
It's a yard.
It's a yard.
It's a fucking yard.
It's a straight up yard.
Okay, so on Friday I went to the movies, like I said.
What'd you see?
And saw, I don't know what it's called, the Transformers movie, because Gia wanted to see it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, wow.
She saw it. She saw like a trailer for it at a movie she went to and thought, "You've got to see this." She asked me for months to see this movie. So we get tickets. I get them. There was like one that was basically like we would have had to leave from work directly there. And I thought, well, she needs to eat dinner, blah, blah, blah. So we'll go home and eat dinner the next showtime. And we got like halfway through the movie and Gia couldn't stay awake. She was just falling asleep.
Was she trying though?
She was trying, but it wasn't. It was fruitless. So she was into it. She she liked it. She yelling, eating her candy and shit. But then it just
boom,
done.
Yeah,
she can't do that and school. It's too much. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, we didn't. But it got me thinking. When's the last time that? So we left early because it was more or less like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like
you weren't super invested in.
I don't need to watch Transformers, and she wants to go to bed. And
yeah.
This is for
so
her.
what's the yeah?
My whole thing is on my rewards points that I get from my movie theater thing. It's like the one
you had already gotten the thing you wanted from it, which was to boost the points. Yeah,
I got a bunch of free tickets because of this.
Great,
I get a bunch of money off concessions.
Awesome.
I get all sorts of fun. I got pushed into like diamond status of Cinemark.
Do you have the monthly pass? Is that
yeah? Baby.
Okay, I was gonna. Okay, yeah.
I get a free ticket every month. I got 2 more for beating my status thing.
Hell yeah!
Now I think I get like 3 a month.
Do they? Is the interface gamified? Do they make it kind of fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You can like enter sweepstakes with your points and all these other things. Yeah. You get like 40% now off of concessions. So I'm paying a fraction of what others are.
Yeah.
And I'm getting free tickets, which feels like I didn't even pay for them, which I know I did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At this point, the status, like, it really makes sense.
Oh, and I know that, they implemented those passes because so few people were going to the movies.
Yeah.
The way you consume movies and shit, you absolutely come out on top.
Yeah.
You might as well, it might as well be 50% off.
It's only like $10 a month. You know what I mean? And quite frankly, you get like a free movie ticket out of that. So even if
you pay more than $10 for one movie, dude.
So then it's like half off for the movie. Well, no, the free movie ticket, in my opinion, covers the single charge or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you tend to as you tier up, you get more and you get all this stuff. So in my mind, couldn't be more worth it. Plus, you get like a regular discount off tickets. So if tickets are like, I don't know why I'm doing it. Cinemark's not paying me. If they want to though.
Hey,
it's like it's like $17, $18, whatever.
Yeah,
maybe it's the last 14, whatever. But like mine's like. Always like between $8 and $9.
Great.
Which is like, that
feels
feels
like
much more reasonable. Yeah. So it's great.
Hell
and
yeah.
I don't like this kind of thing,
Yeah.
I'd rather just lose the money.
No, I know. I know it's not your thing, but hey, you like it. You like going to the movies.
When I'm at Whole Foods and if it's like a small enough, like yesterday I stopped there to get some lettuce and a water. I got like one other, I don't remember what it was. You know what I mean? Just was mostly just taking a walk. And, I was going to check out, and I knew one of the things was on sale, and they were like, you got to put the Amazon thing in it. And I was like, no. You can just put it in. I was like, No. It's like $2. I'm like, I'm not going to put it in.
Please.
I'm paying already. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I just can't do it. You know?
See, when Michelle and I would go to, before we moved to where we live now, we would go to the one out near Denver, and there was no service in that Whole Foods. And I would have a meltdown before going. I'd be like, get the app up, because it's silly to leave the money on the table. You know what I mean? So now I've got the app, and I scan it every time.
You can just put your phone number in, too.
You know, I'm not sure. I think we tried that. I don't think hers or my phone number is tied to the account. And if it is, we just didn't do it right. Long story short, we're on it now. But it is very much like a Brondo move to be like, don't.
I mean, I understand
stop.
if you're buying a lot of stuff, but it was like.
And we usually do. Yeah.
It was like $1.75. I was like, I don't care about this. I can't want to. I couldn't remember if it was mine or Abby's. And it was, I don't want to. I'm not going to like punch the wrong one in. I think I even started to enter it and I'd put like, instead of, I don't care if anyone, like, I was like 262. And it's like, I was like, damn it, I put the wrong number.
Fuck it.
I was like, I'm not doing it again. Just run it through. I don't care how much.
That's tight. That's tight.
Have you ever had to, like, how many movies in life, though, do you feel like you've walked out of?
Never. I'm cheap, dude. I can remember, let me tell you a story. I can remember me and some buddies, high school, went to the Ashtabula Mall to watch. It was a movie where there were like some little bacteria that kind of infected everybody.
Osmosis Jones.
No, it was like a scary movie, like a
28 Days Later,
like that, but not that. It's not Legion, but something in that realm sounding. Anyway, I can remember, and this is the these kids are fine, you know what I mean? But they were like my buddies at the time. But looking back, kind of shitty friends, you know what I'm saying? And they were there, and there were some girls with us, just like friends. You know, it wasn't even like a date thing, just like a group of us in probably fucking
I didn't even know what
grade.
a date was. I've never gone on a date, I don't think. It's always just been what you just described.
Yeah.
There was groups. Members of the opposite sex with us.
And it was just
maybe
like
you
that.
sit by one or one says, you know, they like you. And then that was, if that doesn't happen, then forget them.
Yeah. And I can just remember this one kid, I won't say his name. I don't think that he probably can't even read, let alone listen to a podcast. But I can remember him being like, hey, we're going to bail. This movie sucks. And I just remember being like, who are you impressing, dude? We paid for this. And what are you going to do? You're going to go, what? Fucking get an icy from Auntie Anne's? Like, is that more impressive? Just fucking watch the movie you paid for, bro. You know what I mean? And I hate that energy where it's like poo-poo because you want to impress somebody or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate it. But anyway, that's the only time I still didn't leave, but I would never walk out of a movie. It'd have to be awful for me too.
Did I ever tell you my putt-putt story about trying to impress a girl?
No.
Okay, hang on. I'll get to that.
Yeah.
I was trying to, but when we were doing it, because I was like, I think this is like maybe the second time I've ever walked. Well, and I made my dad leave Aladdin because I got too scared, but I was like 5.
Yeah, sure.
That doesn't count.
He was probably down to leave anyway.
I don't think he wanted to see Aladdin.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. There was a movie we went and asked for a refund on. We just wanted to see a different movie because the movie was bad. And I don't remember what it was. We being
high school?
It was me and Drew and like our one other guy, whichever one was rotated into the collection at the time, and we probably saw 4 movies that weekend.
Yeah,
because we would just go and then just keep we'd spend all week trying to line it up. That's what we would do it late in like lunch class.
Is figure out all right, this showing here, and then we can
newspaper because we're old, you know, and from the Midwest, so we didn't have you know the first guy that got Comcast internet that was like 2020. That you know what I mean, like that was like wired. So we were like. We'd cut it out and then be like, all right, so if we do this one, and then this one will only be like 10 minutes late to this, and if we do that, you know what I mean? Like we have it all mapped out, and then so we'd only pay for one, which I know is a little. They don't care. No one
whatever,
cared
dude.
Back then,
yeah,
you know,
who cares?
You know, they always said they made money off the concessions. We weren't buying those anyway because we were lined up. You know what I mean? Like Canal Street salespeople.
Yeah.
We'd put a Subway sandwich in the because we were going to be there for
smell like a cold cut,
like 6 hours. So.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I couldn't remember what the movie was that we walked out of, so I don't remember what it was.
Damn, I wish I knew.
Yeah, I don't think it was even like anything that interesting. You know what I mean? Because we were idiots. We'd go. We saw Chronicles of Riddick like 3 times just because it fell in the. Like it was playing, you know what I mean, and it fell in between the 2 we wanted to see. So we would just go.
Fuck it.
So we were there
again.
because you can't leave and then come back. So you have to be in
there.
So we just see Chronicles of Riddick for like the 4th time.
God, yeah, that's so sick.
So it's not like we had like strong preferences. We just liked being at the movies.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't think I've really walked out. There's been movies at home where I'll start and bail. But even then, that's really only if it's too heavy. Like I did that this weekend with his 3 daughters. I want to see it. The monologues were amazing to start. I mean, it was like a really just right out the gate, like amazing monologue. But it's like, you know, it's about like it's a very real conversation about an end of life scenario, like a very like direct and real. And it was like, I am not mentally ready for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing the first time I saw, you're not going to know these, but the movie Close about the 2 friends, that movie really hit home for me from like my relationship with my friend as a kid.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know fully what it was about. And I started it in about like, 40 minutes in, maybe 30 minutes in, I was like, I'm not mentally in the right space for what this is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had to like stop that and then go back to it, which is an amazing film, but just you got to be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So, there's things like that. But most of the time I push through.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Yep.
Especially if there's money involved, I would have done the same.
Yeah, I care less about that, obviously, but let me get back to you'll like this, my putt-putt story. And then maybe
putt-putt
do
story?
the Jaybird story. So
I'll do Jaybird story. I'll give you a recount on the thing, and then I want to talk about sweepstakes as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so we one time we'd walk around a lot. I mean, we were just out and about all the time. Mm-hmm. We were walking by the side of the road, and this would have been, late 90s, I would say. Mm-hmm. And we found a cell phone like on the ground.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy shit, like nobody we knew had a cell phone.
Yeah.
I mean, so to even be touching one as a child, I don't know how old we were, probably like
7,
8, maybe 9, I don't know. Anyway, so we had this cell phone, it was like a flip phone. You know what I mean? And this was, again, flip.
Was it a brick?
Yeah, but this is like a Motorola one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
like it doesn't do anything. Like the numbers looked like, the Atari.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we get it. We think this is so cool. We can't charge it or anything. It's dead. You know what I mean? But it looks new.
Yeah.
So just to even have one of these was cool.
I completely understand.
So we would at school, like just randomly, we'd share it, me and my friend that found it. Yeah. Randomly like open it up and put it away. And then be like, people like, you guys got a cell phone? You know what I mean? Because we were like in a new class of people. Yeah. Are you wearing a floss as a ring right now?
I'm just fucking with it, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so it's like the mouth side is what's on your fingers.
Yeah.
So we have this idea because we would gone to summer camp and we were in love with this girl named Caitlin.
Okay.
I still love Caitlin. My memory of her, I'm sure, is not what I don't even think I could. If you gave me 10 people and she was there, I don't think I could pick her out.
Sure.
But in my head, she looks one way.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And she was one type of person. She was older than us.
Yeah.
She
was in camp, or she was
She was in camp, meaning she was probably like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And we were like,
but it felt
maybe it was more like we were 10 and she was 12 or something like. But it was in this category, and we thought she was so beautiful, like the most beautiful woman we've ever seen, and she talked to us, so that was enough.
Yeah.
And at the dance, I danced with her, so
sick.
I mean, it was probably so weird. You know what I mean? Not thinking back on it, like I would never want to like have to view this.
Yeah.
Like if I go up to heaven and God makes you really like look back on that, but we look through it. We look through the footage. I'd be like, you got to skip this. I can't.
Enough.
Dude. You know what I mean? You got to skip this.
Yeah.
Anyway, through AIM, we have a discussion about how we're gonna hang out, and we're like, we invited her to putt-putt. For some reason, she agreed. Also, just to be clear, this is like dumb boy brain. We're like, the both of us will go and she will choose which one she's in love with. Of course. Or she'll love both of us.
Yeah.
And that would have been great. We'll both date her. So we bring the phone, and my friend has this idea. He goes, I got a cool idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to get a call, and it like upsets me. And I'm going to smash the phone to show her that I don't even care about that phone. It's like, first of all, what phone call is like between 8 and 10-year-old going to get where it's like
a business call?
Yeah, like, his stocks blew up on him. Like what information could he get that he need to slam a phone? So I obviously think this is an amazing idea.
Yeah, of course.
I think this is going to make us look like $1 million.
Yeah.
We do it. The bit goes through. We wait till the last hole because we're too scared to even breathe in front of her in the first place.
Yeah.
And he does it. It does not go well. She thinks we are insane for doing this. You know what I mean?
Is she on to
you?
Thank
God it wasn't me who did it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know. He's crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tried to immediately bail out as if I didn't think this was a cool idea. Yeah. It didn't work at all. She didn't talk to us much after that. I don't know if it was because of the incident. It wasn't not because of the incident, I think,
Yeah,
so it was, it was embarrassing. But in my mind's eye, I thought this was going to be like super cool. Like that's what adults do.
Dude, the plans you cook up, you know what I mean? Yeah. I can't think of any off the top, but if I do, I'll surely let you know.
Sure.
But yeah, same thing. It's just the logic that you and your buddies would be like, maybe she'll love us both.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
I think that was 90% of our thing. It's like we'll find a wife together, and it'll be great. Yeah. And she's gonna love that we are very irresponsible and angry people because that's what men are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, hell yeah.
Didn't work.
Did you do anything else fun this weekend? You went to the movie Saturday. What'd you do yesterday? Because I was with the gang, so you were solo dolo.
I kind of didn't do much, man. If I have the house to myself, I just am quiet.
Yeah.
I think that's really what I like as an adult is how much quiet can I have. So I made my like ginger shots and stuff for the week.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cleaned up the house.
Question, you have a juicer or you do it with your blender?
Juicer.
Okay. Yeah.
Took me 45 minutes to
clean that shit up.
Ugh. Yeah. It's never fully clean, I don't feel. I took a walk around, not too far. Took a walk. We're kind of wrapping it up.
Yeah.
I watched a movie.
Nice.
So it was like a 3.5 hour movie, so I took up a lot of time. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Just quiet.
See, here's the thing. You got me thinking about the juicer now because we have probably threw it away. We had a juicer. It got to the point, bro. It was a $45 juicer. You know what I mean?
You do need kind of the better ones, but it doesn't mean they're better. They just work better. They're still a pain in the ass.
Still pain in the ass to clean. And I just remember we were like, let's just get the cheap one. Mm-hmm. If we love it, we'll get a nice one. We never didn't love it, but the pain in the ass of cleaning it was such a pain in the ass, coupled with, after 10 uses, a dozen uses or so, it would start to get a smell like it was going to blow up. And it rattle the whole thing. So
when you're doing it does that and it shakes the whole thing. Yeah.
So
starts smoking a little.
But you got me thinking because remember I talked about it on the pod. You fixed me up that nice juice shot the other day. Mm-hmm. Orange peel, lime, ginger, this whole that.
I'll bring you some more. I got a whole gang of it.
Oh, right Bruno, I would love it. I would really love it. I keep
meaning to bring the little glass shots home so I can fill them all up. Yeah, and I'll bring them here. But it's just so dope, big boy right now.
So dope. I love those little glass shots. Yeah. It's worth whatever it costs just to get the little glass thing, little glass container. But you know what? You kind of got me thinking because, got up earlier this morning. This, that, and the other. I'm really trying to not sleep. So. Not go to bed so early, not sleep in so late. You know what I mean? Just try to get on a little bit more of a more healthy sleep schedule because of all the things that I've mentioned prior. So you kind of got me thinking. We got a bunch of gift cards, random Visa gift cards with random sums on it and shit. I might try to gamify it and get a juicer because this is fun. This is a fun activity, and then also it would give me something to grow some shit in the garden moving forward to be able to do that. That would really, tickle my fancy, so to speak.
Can you grow lemons and ginger and stuff?
Well, our house doesn't get enough sunlight, but I'd like to get a lime tree. But there's just nowhere in the house that gets enough light for it that I would feel comfortable spending. I want a nice big one, because also lime trees, if you break the leaves and shit also smell like lime, and I think you can use them for stuff and whatnot. So I would like to do that, yes. But then other things, ginger, maybe. But we can grow greens and stuff pretty easily. Yeah. And carrots and stuff like that. So I would like to do that for nice juicing, you know?
I don't do as much green juice, but now and then I just made one a couple weeks ago, but not as often.
I loved that shot you brought me, Yeah,
it's very easy.
I think it's so good. So
the only hard part is the fucking cleaning.
Yeah. So maybe we'll look into that because I don't want a $400 juicer. I'm looking more in the $150 realm, Maybe
some people know some. I mean, I could tell you what mine is. I don't know what it is.
If you got a plug for a juicer or Crate and Barrel and the like, hit us up.
We got plenty of plugs to Crate and Barrel if that's what you want.
Yeah, actually, that's true. They got juicers. So, anyway.
They got that one stand mixer. Is that Crate and Barrel, the one that everybody likes? You don't know. You don't use the internet.
No.
Right.
Well, it's certainly not to look for products.
It looks like a Taylor Swift one. It's made of wood and the bowl is wood.
Yeah.
And it's green. Huh. Why is shit that looks like Taylor Swift always look like Robin Hood? I'm talking about like why? How did she develop?
She's for the people, man. Come on.
What's that? Oh, because that's the Robin Hood part.
Yeah.
She is the rich. Why aren't people stealing from her?
Yeah, and her little PJ putting all these nasty emissions into some.
Yeah, that's Taylor Swift's fault.
Yeah, no, yeah. So cool, man. Sounds like you had a good weekend.
Fine.
Yeah,
normal.
We go Buffs. Really, really, really good game on Saturday.
It's way cooler.
Buffs. Well, I didn't say that, but I know. It was a really listen. I know you don't care, but you could watch. You could watch 400 football games and never see one go down like that. You know what I mean? It was quite a game. So that was a good game. We went. I bought more plants. Went to Whole Foods. I got you some of those cute little pears. Seckel pears is what they are. Hardly see them anymore. We got them years ago, and I fucking loved them. Every pear season, been trying to find them. Found a couple last year, and then this year we got them. So I'm gonna keep those stocked. I'll keep you stocked on them. They're little cute ones. They're about yay big. They fit in your pocket if you want to bring a couple to work. Let them get soft though, like a pear, and then they're sweet as heck.
Are
you
they
know
hard
what I mean?
right now?
Yeah, they're hard. None of them were ripe, so you got to buy them and let them ripen. But sweeter than heck. Really, really, really good. Love them. So excited about that. Got those Saturday.
When you get them right, you eat them like a cartoon cat eating a fish.
Yeah,
you sort of like put it in and ting 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 ting.
And then what we did was yesterday we went over to Coops, jumped on the trampoline, and we had everybody brought like lunch meat, But I want to talk about something. We went into Your Butcher Frank in Longmont. It is like an OG neighborhood butcher spot, right? And we got 2 pounds of mortadella, and the kid comes up. He goes, "Hey, is this thin enough for you?" Hands it to me. And I go, "Oh yeah, looks good." He goes, "It's beautiful." It's like a 20-year-old kid, you know what I mean? And he's like kind of like alternative, had earrings and shit, but working in the butcher shop. But for him to call the mortadella beautiful, it was like, damn dog, we would get along. You know what I mean?
Have pistachios in it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, sir. And I'm also gonna say something just as a to get people riled up. Top 5 most overrated things might be prosciutto would be in there for me.
I don't like prosciutto.
I think it's like the worst lunch meat.
Yeah, I would
or
agree.
Cured
fucking
meat.
Stringy and
Gross. Fatty, gross, slimy, not good. Prosciutto is not
Only
good.
thing I want, like mortadella, butter, bread.
Yes, sir.
Nothing more.
Yes, sir.
Everything else is dog shit.
Dude, nothing is better than mortadella. I fucking love it. So, got 2 pounds of mortadella. But what I want to talk about is going in there. I always feel good going in there, and when we leave, Michelle and I always look at each other and like, man, I fucking love it in there. It's really small town shit.
More stores should give you that feeling. I think that's like a problem in our. There's no fixing it. Everything's a monopoly. You know what I mean? But like, it sucks that like when I was growing up, we'd go to like. It was like a grocery store element to it, but it also had like almost like a Walgreens mixed with a grocery store kind of deal. And you can kind of, and it was small, you know what I mean?
Kind of locally.
Yeah, it's like why I liked that grocery store in
exactly.
Chicago that I've talked about.
Yep.
It's like everything's just sort of like the people.
Yep.
There's only so many people that work there.
Yep.
They're very friendly. They kind of serve the neighborhood. They're not really trying to serve everyone that's ever existed.
No, man.
They aren't trying to do anything special. It tends to be a lot better curated. Like they actually give a shit about the products that they're stocking. They know what they are. I think I mean, look, I know this is just idealism. You know what I mean? I know this is not the way things are. And I don't expect that some hyper curated store is going to open tomorrow and be able to compete with Whole Foods. It can't. It's just impossible.
No,
but I mean, even like, I just think, I mean, there's like one there because we're in Boulder. I think we're lucky that there's like a couple of this kind of thing left. But even like, like a natural grocer type of, we've talked about kind of that weird hippie grocery store. I love that shit, dude.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah. But like, dude, even that is not what we're talking about though.
There's like one in town that I would argue that's still a little that way.
What would it be?
I can't think of the name of it. I'll know as soon as we can. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who wants to hear.
We can talk about it
hash
next time.
out, but it gets too local. But there's like it's small enough, and it still feels really well curated, and feels like people know the product pretty well, and it changes out a lot, and I think that's nice. But that just how often do you get that? I mean, Chicago is a better example where like you could
feels
still
like
serve a neighborhood.
Exactly, serving the neighborhood, and this spot is exactly that. There's I think the fella that. He can't be Frank because I think this thing has been around for a long time. But I would reckon maybe he's Frank's son or something. You know what I mean? He's been in there every time we've been in there, and it's interesting. The whole staff interacts with you. How you doing today? You've been helped? All right, cool. Good to see you, even if they don't know you. This fella says, oh, thanks for coming in, guys. The kid's like, oh, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. They got, one section that's a true deli. It's all the cold cut you can buy in bulk, and they'll slice it for you right there on the spot. Like, it ain't fucking pre-made. You know what I mean? It takes the whole hunk back there and slices you however much poundage you want. There's all kinds of, pesto salad or what have you, things that are a la carte that you can buy in little tins. There was an old lady bought some ham salad, and that was the only thing you can tell. She comes in probably every Saturday, gets her little thing of ham salad, and then probably goes home and eats it on a baguette. And we got some frozen stuffed shells from like from like a local Italian kind of thing. They got manicotti, they got all the veal, all the things you would want, right? But this is what I'm talking about. Come in, really sweet old lady. She's standing in there. She goes, "Hi guys, welcome in. I'm sampling my homemade Italian sauce, red sauce. Come over, try them, this, that, and the other." And we heard her give the spiel to the guy ahead of us, and I was like, "Listen," I look at Michelle and I said, "We're buying one of her sauces, whether it's good or not. We're gonna buy one of the sauces." So she's like, "All right, I got this, that, and the other. I got spicy Italian sausage. I got this." I can't think of what she would call it, but she would say something, something, something. It's got a real kick to it. And then a couple other things. And I was like, I just love this lady. You know what I mean? And long story short, we buy a thing of it. It was Puttanesca. And we look over. The company was started in Columbus by her grandparents. Okay, when they had immigrated to Ohio. Yeah. Yes, sir. It's a Midwest thing to say Italian because. She wasn't doing a bit like I do. And I always said, it wasn't funny to me until moving here and realizing that people don't say Italian. But growing up, like, will you pass me that Kraft zesty Italian dressing? And Abby said the same thing. People say Italian, I would love to, if somebody has some lore or some sort of more information about this, I would love to talk about it because I think it's so funny. But it's not, it's jarring to me now having made it into a funny bit, but people really say Italian where we're from.
It's funny, and this is probably just a where we're from thing, but like, it's weird that like when you'd go over to a friend's house, there was almost always an iceberg salad, and we were in a dressing era.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you'd go out and be like, I'm going to get the 45 dressings we have out and be like, wishbone balsamic, honey? Baby.
Yeah.
Zesty Italian.
Yeah.
Fucking Thousand Island. No one's putting a Thousand Island dressing on a salad now.
You know about French?
Of course I do.
French dressing.
Yeah.
Have you ever, since being 15, seen French dressing somewhere?
No, that was good.
Yeah, it's just gas. Yeah. That was my dad's
it's like
dressing.
Bad for you, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, that is way too
I'm
heavy
not
for
arguing,
a salad.
But like, Kraft made really good dressings. To this day, bro, if you gave me an iceberg lettuce salad with some fresh cucumbers and tomatoes and you doused it in zesty Italian dressing, I would down it, dude. It's so good.
What's funny is I didn't even know that there could be salads with other things than iceberg until I was pretty old. Like iceberg with carrot.
You think I had arugula? No, I didn't.
I didn't know what that was.
I don't think it's sold in the area code that I grew up in. No.
What kind of freak are you?
No. Heavens no, you pervert.
Yeah.
No. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up because it feels like a true Midwest thing. And please write in. Okay, tell us what you think.
This is gonna rev your engine, this question.
Hit me.
But you're up at the Pizza Hut salad bar.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Walk me through what you're doing.
Even better. Not even better, but I know where you're coming from. I think about it all the time. I think of it more in Ruby Tuesdays realm because that was just something I frequented more.
Whatever your reference point is, works.
I do. It's pretty easy for me. It's the regular iceberg lettuce. It's the little ham chunks. It's the boiled egg that's chopped.
Yeah.
It's a gang of cucumber, and then it's ranch. And that's about it.
Interesting.
Like, easy. And I could eat that indefinitely. That is something like how you say you could eat spaghetti and red sauce kind of to an endless amount. I don't think there's a limit because by the time that I would start to get full on it, my body has already processed it. You know what I mean? Like,
you're ready to move on.
I could just...
I loved it.
Oh,
I love a salad. I mean, it's gross to think about now, but I love it. I mean, I still
love
do
a salad bar.
I got sick that one time, so I stopped. But
yeah, I could draw you a layout of the Ruby Tuesdays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I knew Pizza Hut better. That's where we went for family events.
Yeah. No, and for the record, I went to Pizza Hut quite a bit, but my tie to salad bars is Ruby Tuesdays. And also, are you familiar with Eaton Park? EATCN Space N Space Park.
No.
Same deal. Salad bar, heavy. Cookies served at the end.
There was this restaurant called Triangle Park, which is like a fancier restaurant.
Yeah.
It had, still had a bunch of like tubas and shit and everything on the top of it. But my friend worked there growing up, and oh my god, dude, we would go and sometimes just get like a water and some breads just so we could like watch him work, because it was literally like watching like Goofy from the movie from like the Disney movies. At
very
work.
Goofy movie.
He'd come out of the back like sliding on like a sponge, you know what I mean, with a tub of plates going everywhere and shit. It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
I feel like I go iceberg lettuce is a
Hit
definite.
me, yeah. Oh, I forgot. A bunch of shredded cheese. But
I don't even need shredded cheese even now if they have the shredded carrot. It acts as the same thing to me once they're dressing on it. It doesn't matter. It's all just textural at a certain point. 2 wild cards I would get though. I like a goldfish. I would
goldfish crackers.
I would never do this in normal life. You know what I mean? But if I'm there, we're unhinged enough.
Oh yeah.
The other thing, maybe get the small plate on the side of the chocolate pudding. I don't know why that was up there on the salad bar.
Certainly didn't want them to touch.
No.
But
That obviously has to be 2 different things. Yeah.
Hey.
And then probably, ranch, but like you're right. French shit, like Thousand Island is really good.
It's just good.
Is that all the same shit? Is French? No, French is different.
French is like a
Is
smooth
Thousand Island and
red.
Russian dressing the same?
I think they're more or less the same.
They don't eat that in Russia.
No, dude.
They just
I don't know what they eat there, but it's not that.
Yeah.
No
dressing.
Real quick about salad bars. Ponderosa. Right?
I never went to a Ponderosa.
You know it though? Was it around?
Yeah, but it was in the weird parts of town, man.
See, it was on Route 20. We would go to Ponderosa often, and this is another salad bar treat, just speaking, because I totally forgot about all the sweets. Jell-O I would eat, but there was it was chopped up bananas in like a strawberry jelly glaze. Do you know this?
Stuff is so gross. I know exactly what you're talking about. All that weird shit. There was a lot of that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever went to Ponderosa. Have we talked about in here our trademark again? This is another trademark. Our business idea for doing, people do like bootleg band teas. We wanted to do bootleg restaurant teas.
Yeah.
From like restaurant chains that I've never seen. Like
no, but they were just around.
Ponderosa's great.
Yeah, Ponderosa.
Chi-Chi's is a great.
Oh my
Damon's,
god.
Like these.
Damon's Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what? Hey, that reminds me. I have that screen printing set up from Kate. Remember, she bought it and never used it.
We can start our business.
I'm gonna this week. Let me do a little bit of 1-2s. I'm gonna build a little setup. I'll make us some bootleg teas, because there's some bands that I want to make bootleg teas of as well. Yeah. Because there's just ones like, Carissa's Weird being one of them. There's just some shit that I want that like I won't make for other people, not to piss off the band. It's just like I want the name of the band on the shirt just for me. It's just that's what I mean. That's it. In fact, I'm wearing a Carissa's Weird t-shirt today.
Look at that. Look at him blast off there.
Sick.
Represent. I wonder what those guys are doing now.
Yeah, I wonder what they're doing. Shoot. I was going to say something else.
All right, tell us your story, because we're running out of time and we haven't even got to the things yet.
So I swear that I had told this story, but enough of the fellas in the Discord said I had and they wanted to hear it. So my cousin, he had a good buddy growing up that went by Jaybird. He's the kind of fella that would be at the house. The whole family knew him. You know what I mean? You knew Jaybird. He'd come in, he'd hug everybody, give my Aunt Cookie a kiss on the cheek, a fella of the family. And I just remember hearing, Jaybird's kind of a wild man. You know what I mean?
How old was Jaybird? Your age?
No, he's my cousin's age. So he'd be probably your age.
Of course.
he'd be more your age. Probably 35, 36.
Okay.
Now, I'll tell the story, but I also want to preface it that one time during college, end of college, or maybe the year I moved here, Cavaliers won the championship, right? And it may have actually been the year they
first time.
I think it would have been the first year, or the year.
The
first year they lost, I think, is what I'm referencing, because I think what I'm referencing is them winning the Eastern Conference Finals, then going to the championship. But nonetheless, there was a Vice reporter.
What year? Like LeBron era?
2015, yeah. 2015, 16.
Yeah, okay.
16 they won. I think the first year they won, and then 17 they... I don't know, man. It's also muddied. But there was a reporter, I want to say Vice or something of the like, right? They were in Cleveland, out on East 4th for the celebrations. This means nothing to you, but if you're in Cleveland and you're from Cleveland, Greenhouse Tavern was on this little block, a James Beard award-winning restaurant with duck confit, buffalo wings, the absolute best wings I've ever fucking had. But I can remember I was really into the Cavaliers at this point. I was really, really stoked. I went to a bunch of games that year because my buddy would get tickets via Time Warner, which was like the monopoly on cable from there. And he would get them through his job. And so we would go sit in nice seats. He and I would go quite a bit. And I remember I'm reading this thing. I was like, oh, fuck, that's Jaybird. And they were interviewing him. And even just it was just text, right? And you could tell that he was so fucking drunk. It was you couldn't follow what he was.
This is a written article?
It was a written article, but they quoted him directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a couple lines.
Yeah.
I remember being like,
journalist.
that is insane. You know what I mean? Just fun to watch. But anyway, so I heard this story about Jaybird. He and his dad were out at the Browns game. Now, we know Browns fans to be rowdy and pretty trashy. And I say that lovingly, knowing that a lot of the people I grew up with are and were massive Browns fans. And they go to the game. They're driving home. And they said that, and I heard this from my cousin, I believe is what it was. The car ahead of them, the guy was so drunk that he was bouncing off in bumper to bumper traffic, heading out of Cleveland, bumping off the median, the Jersey barriers, right? And so they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So they follow him until the car stops. Jaybird gets out of his car, runs up, knocks the dude out through his window, reaches in, unbuckles him, and drags him out. No. He said, we're going to perform a citizen's arrest on this motherfucker because he's so drunk. Jaybird and his dad follow the drunk guy.
This whole time, because of the way you set it up, I thought you were talking about Jaybird was the one doing it.
No, he was probably pretty drunk himself. More so just Jaybird is a wild card, right?
So he thought that guy went too far.
He said, no, we're taking it into our own hands. Him and his dad, they leave the Browns game. They follow this fella. The fella ahead of them is drunk. The guy they're going to perform a citizen arrest on. They follow him until he gets off an on-ramp and the car stops. Jaybird gets out, runs out. Jaybird was in the Army, so he's a big guy too. You know what I mean? Big boy, full of alcohol.
It's like every piece of information that you provide, already know. You're like, yep, that's what I was picturing already. Like in my mind, he got out with an M65 that he's got the badges on and stuff.
Somehow it's a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
So long story short, he runs up. The guy's window must have been down. He apparently knocks the dude out cold, reaches in, unbuckles him, drags him out through the window, and is like standing on him until the cops show up. He performed a literal citizen's arrest on this dude. And from what I remember, I don't think Jaybird got in any trouble at all. I think that they were like, hey, you're just in your actions, and we're going to go ahead and
I do feel like it's just that's like a different time.
Well, yeah.
And
this was probably before me referencing the article. This would have been early 2010s. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's the end of the story. So that it's not, but like, you probably don't know many people in your life that performed a citizen's arrest, but it's just very fitting if you knew and saw this fella.
I don't think I know anybody who's made a citizen's arrest. I mean, so many people call the cops and then leave, but like you don't hang out and then or enforce the justice yourself.
This dude was like, no, fuck it. We're dragging this dude out of the car. Dragged him out of his fucking car. Performed a citizen's arrest.
It feels like if you're the cops, you would be like, I don't even know where to begin. So it'd be easier to just deal with this guy.
Have you told the story? You don't have to go into depth about why you were talking to the cops, but tell the story real quick that happened outside on the sidewalk not long ago. I think maybe you didn't.
Yeah, so there was some stuff going on at the store, and I was talking to the police. We'll just leave it at that. And the thing was, I went to call the police, and I noticed there's a guy sitting in the parking lot across the street in his police car, and I was like, let me go see if he can help me. So I go grab him. He literally looks over with me, and you could tell he was like, he'd just gotten done doing something annoying, and I don't know what it was, but I think it was some kind of other interesting call. He walks over with me, and I'm explaining to them the situation, and it's a fairly severe situation. I'm trying to get him caught up to speed, and this like 80-year-old woman pulls up in a bikini top and like soft shorts on a bike, and the bike is like a mountain bike with the seat way too low. This isn't information you need, but it helps paint a strange picture. Also, just to be clear, I mean, I don't know that any 80-year-olds, I mean, no matter what your figure is, that seems like a strange top choice. And actually, to be honest with you, I've seen her several times since. That's her what outfit. She wears. Yeah. And if she lives around here, she is not poor. You know what I mean? It's not like she had to make these decisions and this is her summer outfit.
It's a choice,
She pulls up and it's already like a lot to take in, just her presence. And she interrupts me because she's decided that whatever she needs to tell the police officer is far more important than what I have to tell him.
Of course.
And I say, ma'am, excuse me, I'm in the middle of something. And she goes, I understand that. I just need to tell him something. And I'm like, okay, so it would be easier to go, I don't give a shit what you're saying. I have things to say. He goes, ma'am, come on. What is this? And she goes, the other day, I was down the block and I saw a man run out of this restaurant. And he goes, okay. And he goes, when was this? And she goes, yesterday or the day before, I'm not sure. And he was like, okay. Is there anything else to the story? Was he on fire? Was he holding a weapon? Was there anything? And he goes, and just to confirm, this was 1 to 2 days ago. Yes. And he goes, what on earth would you like me to do about this? She goes, write it down. And he goes, no, you've got to go. And she goes, fine, never mind. And then she rides off.
Insane.
And he's like 100 times a day, 100 times a day.
I like that he had felt like you were reasonable. Yeah.
Like, I was just about to turn my tone, and then he was like, I can't do this anymore. So anyway, that's that. So, that's about it. So
buddy.
We got to that. This is the podcast. A couple things I have down on here. Well, let's just do these notes I have in here. Sometimes I just feel like I need to say them so that I can delete them.
Yeah.
Today at the gym, normally it's the guys doing weird shit. Today it was a girl, and by all stretches, if you started at the top, if you're viewing her and you're starting at the top, you're like, that's normal, just at the gym, got the headphones on, doing on the treadmill.
Normal thing.
Yeah. She's got the treadmill set to like fucking like 20 on
she's
the
hauling
incline.
ass.
No, not fast. She's going like upright like this.
Okay.
And she's doing it all in brand new Yeezy slides. I know that they're new because they still got the sticker on the bottom because I can see them.
And she just had to flex in them.
Flopping. I can't imagine walking, like taking a hike in Yeezy flip-flops.
Yeah.
Psychotic.
Insane.
So anyway, that's just a weird thing I saw.
Worth noting.
I wrote down Nikes, which I believe is because you want Nikes suddenly.
Me and Michelle are going to go to the outlet before we go to Japan.
Why the outlet?
See if I can find some cool runners.
You're not going to get those ones like you saw from the outlet.
We'll see.
No, we won't see. They're sold out everywhere. No. You're not going to get them.
No, but you know what I'm really looking for is like the ones that you got that are for running. You know what I'm talking about?
Which
like
ones?
The big ones.
Nikes. I got New Balance.
Are they the New Balance? Like those though. You know the ones. You know the Nikes that were banned from NCAA because they made the runners run like 3% faster.
I had those. The Alpha.
I want those, man. Yeah. I want something like that because I know. I was thinking like, listen.
What are you gonna do in them?
I'm gonna figure out a way to wear them.
You don't want those, not the Alpha, whatever they're called or whatever. Those are like those make you kind of sit forward in a weird way.
Well, that's how I feel about the Hokas, except they make me sit back. Makes me feel like I'm working to stand up all day. I feel like I'm gonna fall back all day. Something weird with them. Anyway, I want a pair of runners because we're gonna go, dude, and I'm gonna see a bunch of dudes in these cool Nike, running shoes that look cool with outfits, and I just can't. As many times as I've tried it, I want to try it again.
Japan is not doing this to me this time. I'm not coming home and doing something different that I change up 6 months later.
Yeah,
it isn't gonna get me this time. I don't look like that.
No,
I can't make the clothes look the
man.
same. I'm not a guy who's ever going to look cool in like breezy clothes because I'm not breezy at all.
Well, I'm with you.
I'm a rock, and that's the deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not letting it happen to me this time. I'm not going to fall into this idea that I'm not letting it happen to me.
Yeah.
Nope. Not doing anything.
Nope. Well,
every single time we go, we're
going to be doing some walking. And I remember last time. Listen, I love my Clark Wallabies. Those are like my shoes right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
man, my dogs
off
were
of every
barking.
curb you go off of too.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah.
And if that happens again,
I mean, I think finding a nice walking shoe is fine. We have plenty of walking shoes if that's what you need. I don't know that you need.
I kind of want a pair of Skagways too, so we'll see.
Well, that's the literal polar opposite. You're gonna shred that heel.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough. So the customer service question that we have, I was on the page and then I lost it. Where is it at? Okay, pod questions. Here we go. Great question. Do a pack on it, movie or album, and album in this case. So what is your do a pack on it, movie or album? The movie and album that is a journey to get you through, but cleanses you of the demons in the process.
Yeah.
So this goes back to me seeing that guy that we couldn't figure out who the original source was that did do a pack on it.
I just tried finding it. I can't find it anywhere, man.
I think I still have it saved, but what if it's gone? I mean, what if he They erased him. He was speaking too much power into the world.
Yeah, bro.
They took him down.
The government can't control us if we're all doing a pack on it. I really want to find it because I like that energy. I'm gonna let you go first here because I have a couple of ideas, but I also have a more earnest answer. But
okay, so I'm not like I think that there's like a couple different ways you can take it. Either ones that are just like they're just like a reset button because you just like you've watched them so many times and they're just sort of like a mindless indulgence that makes you feel better. Mm-hmm. And then there's like so like that's really what I wrote down, like those types of things.
Yeah.
Like I've been with that album or movie a million times. I know how it makes me feel. It always makes me feel better, and I can kind of reset off of that. Just because it makes me feel good, not because I think it's the best or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I think the truest version of that, which we've talked about on the pod, as far as movies go, and this is different though. This is more the other one where it's like it's kind of a hard thing to get through, but it's great. Is that movie Yee Yee? I don't think there's any movie that does that more for me than being like, it's just so much to take in, but also kind of nothing happens, and you feel like a different person after you've watched it. So I love things like that too. So my answers aren't really like that, but that's also maybe the way it's. But I couldn't figure out which way it was supposed to be answered. So
yeah.
Movies for me, When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
Really is a movie I watch once a year at least, maybe more, especially if I'm on a plane or I have to be on a plane a lot. Kind of a nostalgic movie. I watched it when I was a kid with my mom. I watched it when I was a teenager with friends. I watched it, with girlfriends. I watched it as an adult.
Can you give me a rundown of who's in that movie that
Absolutely.
I might know?
Billy Crystal and what do you mean no?
I don't know.
You have to know Billy Crystal. And Meg Ryan.
Hold on. Nope, not who I thought it was. I thought it was who's Aerosmith's daughter?
What?
Liv Tyler.
Oh,
Meg Ryan and Liv
Aerosmith.
Tyler. Liv Tyler and Meg Ryan are the same person to me, just because it's first name, last name, Tyler and Ryan, just two my buddies. Billy Crystal. Oh, actually, you know what? He spoke at the Emmys.
Yeah,
but that's how I know him.
But yeah, and I'm not going to tell you I'm like a massive Billy Crystal fan or anything, but I have seen a lot of his work.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that one I will do a lot. That's a little bit of like the 80s or 90s, whenever that came out, version of a Past Lives for me, where it's not the same thing. This is obviously more of a comedy than that is, but it's just if I see it on plane or if I see it, it's a nice like. It'll get me through a funk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I also really like the movie Lady Bird. This was a movie that came out a while ago. Saoirse Ronan. I really like that one. I've watched that a million times.
What's her name?
Saoirse Ronan. It's really hard to spell. I'm probably saying it wrong. She's Irish, I believe.
Cool.
She's great. You've probably seen her before too.
I know the movie Lady Bird. I haven't seen it, but I can picture.
That's another one. Any sort of like. Honestly, any like coming of age movie, especially if it's like set in New York or the suburbs, will work for me in that same way. But those are two ones that I go back to like quite a lot. The other one I go back to, this is a different vibe, but I will also watch There Will Be Blood kind of a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or The Master. Any Paul Thomas Anderson heavy thing like that.
I want to rewatch There Will Be Blood. I haven't seen it in a long time. I've seen it one time and I hardly remember.
I think definitely Daniel Day-Lewis's best performance, but I also really liked him in Phantom Thread, which I think is a little more underrated.
It's Paul Dano, right?
Yep, he's in it too.
Man, that dude, he can do no wrong, in my opinion. I don't know. I can't think of anything that I've seen of him that I didn't think that he was the star.
Oh, he's done some duds throughout life, but yeah, for the most part.
I haven't seen those. Yeah.
Ruby Sparks comes to mind. I think American football obviously is there's those
you're self-titled.
Those really are kind of that same thing where it's like you got to just do it now and then. I got to listen all the way through.
Yeah, dude.
Now we'll say it's probably not every year anymore like it used to be, but every other year it'll be like, you know what, I haven't listened to, even though I know it like the back of my hand, and I'll start that over, and then that'll kind of clear the deck. Avalon from Roxy Music is like this for me.
Cool.
Loveless from My Bloody Valentine, and then Shed, but I listen to Shed 17 times a year.
So good.
Yeah.
Again, we've talked about a perfect record. Absolutely perfect record.
Yeah, I mean, everything I'm just described to me are perfect records, would probably be in my top 10, 20 albums for sure, that just feel like a nice, like I like to just do the whole thing, no distractions, a couple times a year, and then I feel good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Good
Those
shit.
are mine.
Cool. So my earnest answer is that I don't work through things. It's just
that's very accurate.
Or at least not intentionally. But I have things that as we're talking, there are
think
things.
about it like comfort things.
Exactly. That's the way that I have plenty of
disassociation style.
Yes. So I don't have any movies. I don't have any movies that fit this bill, but The Office would be one. Both good, bad. It's something that is comforting. I feel safe watching it. It's a known quantity. I know what's going to happen. I like it. And I still find new things. I still laugh at it out loud. This, that, and the other. That's about it in terms of movies or shows, right? Like that. Like I don't have that association with a lot of things. It wavers. The Office would be the only thing that stands true. You know what I mean?
Rewatch any movies?
No. Shows I do, but like I've rewatched New Girl quite a bit, but I wouldn't consider it this. You know what I mean? I just like it. My little odds and ends shows, but again, I just like them. They don't offer any emotional support or anything to me. I think The Office does do that.
I was gonna say I kind of disagree with what you're saying though, because you have a lot of like things you do this with, and I think it's all just like I can. Sometimes I do it and I just put it on because it's like I just miss it. You know what I mean? So I'm almost like you like miss living in that world or whatever.
Well, I love to go a place too. I like the world. That's so big for me.
I always say that it's funny that like the Grand Theft Auto games, I'll miss living in the world.
I get you.
Not the game. I just liked. You see familiar things.
Oh,
you spend enough time with it that you almost feel nostalgia.
You know
for
how
a
to whip
digital
around.
Thing.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
when people are like, well, no one will ever go all digital or whatever. I'm like, yeah, we will, because I can already kind of feel, and I'm like way further away than kids are. You know.
Yeah.
But I think that like at the same time, sometimes you watch it and you're like, this is because I'm not feeling great, and I just want to feel comfortable.
I'm not looking. Yeah.
So it's a different thing.
The Office is that definitively. There's other things that I watch obsessively at different points in my life. Maybe I'd do it for comfort, but it'd be more subconscious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of music, it's a lot of things in the same realm you're talking about. The one that comes to mind would be the Owen record, I Do Perceive.
Sure.
It's a photo of Mike Kinsella. He's on the right side of it. I Do Perceive in a serifed font. And in particular, the best song on there is Playing Possum for a Peek. But it has Who Found Whose Hair in Whose Bed, Note to Self, Bed Abuse, Put Your Hands on Me. I'd
say outside of like, is Pietro Crespi or whatever on that one?
Yeah. That one.
So outside of that, like these are the songs that people would know from Owen. Realistically, this is the record if you're going to get into it.
And I could not recommend it enough. But that being said, At Home with Owen, it's a 2006 release. It's green and black and white. It has the tree on the front. No Good for No One Now, and then Owen, the self-titled, is really good. Ghost Town has a couple good songs. New Leaves has a couple good songs, as does the La Me Du People, whatever the fuck.
To be honest, if you resonate with one, you could resonate with all of them.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say challenge himself as far as sonically goes.
The newer
maybe,
stuff is different. Yeah. I'm not necessarily so in love with it.
I'm not even sure I've listened to it, to be honest.
It's fine, but really it'd be I Do Perceive, No Good for No One Now, At Home with Owen, and then Owen. Those would be my recommendations if you're looking to get into this. But I get that feeling from it.
But see, I also wonder if we're answering the question incorrectly, and the right way to answer it is more the yee thing, which I actually think you'd have more trouble answering than like as far as like movies or music that like you like, but it's kind of like harder to get through. Like one for me is I really love, and I loved it, the album Figure Eight from Elliott Smith. That was actually my entry point into Elliott Smith when I was younger. I was at a Barnes and Nobles. They were closing. I had $20 cash, and that was designated for buying a record. I had to have been, my friend drove me there, so I had to be under 16.
Yeah, sure.
And whenever it was, and I just bought it. I didn't know what it was. I just kind of liked the cover, and it was in the like indie rock section.
Yeah, dude.
So I just bought it.
Yeah.
And listened to it in his Honda Accord on the way back to his house, and we just like got there and then finished it. You know what I mean, in the driveway, and we're like, fuck, that was really something special.
Yeah.
And then that was it's still probably my favorite all-time record, and especially if you think of his discography, which I think people like because of the sadness and quietness of them.
Yeah.
That's the record I feel like I know people love it, but I don't think it's when you ask people what their favorite record from him, it's always EXO or From a Basement or these really like depressing records. I actually wouldn't even tell you I like From the. I think it's good, but I also think he would, knowing, especially if you read his book or know anything about him, he was very crazy about his recordings. He did most of the recording himself. He didn't want people to have the masters. He took them home most nights because he didn't want people messing with them. So the fact that they kind of finished that record after he passed away is also a little like that is not what he
would have not been to his specifications.
So it doesn't. It feels, and it also feels like I think this. If you're really talking about like sadness in a record, that one's worse to me because it's more optimistic, and I also think it's the record he would have been most proud of because it sounds like his attempt at the Beatles, which is it was his obsession.
Interesting.
And so
I didn't know
like,
that.
it's kind of a difficult record in that way, in that like it's like a lot of the songs are meant to be positive and almost come off the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Knowing everything about him. So that's kind of like a challenging record that I like to listen to, every now and then, but not always one I necessarily look forward to. You have to almost be like in a good headspace to listen to it because otherwise it's a little, much.
A little much, yeah.
So there's like things like that. I mean, there's also like a lot of like early prog stuff that I'm into is kind of the same way where like musically it's so like, much.
Yeah.
I also think like maybe even if you get into the right place, like some of the like Bill Evans work is, the jazz, it's a wholly different thing, but it kind of feels that way where it's like, man, this is like, it's kind of a heavy load of emotion for it just being like music.
Interesting.
So if you hits you at the right time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other movies that are like that. I think that to be honest with you, these are the types of movies I like most.
I know. Yeah.
That are like hard to get through a little bit, but it's just because I want to feel something from art. I don't want it all to be throwaway, especially with movies for whatever reason. I feel like as much as I like some of that stuff now and then, I'm more often not in the mood for throwaway movies because it feels like it's a lot of time and investment, and it's not a show where it's like you're going to be with the characters for a while. It's like I'm going to be with them for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Some of the movies I watch more like 3, but like it's a short amount of time in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
so I don't want to invest a lot into it if it's just a throwaway.
No, I get it.
So every now and then you get a good one. I just watched, I can't think of what it's called off them. Snack Shack. Really fucking good. Like, kind of, it's like a,
I've passed it many times. Yeah.
Really good.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like
hard to watch or fun?
No, fun.
Okay.
Fun.
Yeah.
It has like serious moments, which I think are great. That's what makes good stuff good, but for the most part it's like fun, nostalgic type of thing. And these two kids that are in it are mind-bogglingly good as far as like chemistry and energy and shit, especially when it's like supposed to be like, I think it's supposed to be like the 90s. So good for being kids that would have never experienced that, you know. It's totally worth your time if you just want like a fun one. Theater Camp was another one that's like a fun one that's like, I think that there's still that thing that I like that. I'm not trying to like, and I still think there's a place for that as being like smart art, as opposed to just complete throwaway like trash, which I also don't mind. I'll watch anything Adam Sandler's in, and a lot of that's just throwaway like feel good movies. I think there's a place for that kind of thing. I like that other stuff. I would like to see you try one.
I'm down.
What do you got to think? What do you think about?
I watched Iron Claw, or like the last half of it.
The last half of it.
I just happened upon it, but I was there for the big parts.
See, I like. Well, that's what. Like, I don't think big parts are the point of movies like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the ramp up to things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't. Yeah. So I want to see you. I want to find one that might really resonate with you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what it would be.
Yeah, I'll think kind of too. There's shit that I'm sure I've.
We're gonna before the end of the year. You have to complete the Timbo 1 movie challenge, where I'm gonna pick one movie that I think
I'll watch it.
I'm
gonna
curate for you, and I want to. But it's gonna be hard for you.
Yeah,
and I want to see you do it all the way.
We'll
no
see.
Interruptions.
I'll watch it.
What do you mean we'll see?
I'm saying we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
I want to change your mind a little bit. On the front of it, doesn't always have to be. Throwaway stuff.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'd be sort of in that like zone right now, where I think sometimes it's like hard. You get into like a comfortability with like a certain type of media, whatever it is, and then you don't like break away from it.
Yeah,
for a while.
Because I'll tell you what I'm watching right now that I love.
I do that with music sometimes too.
Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
Martin Short, baby.
Listen, I love Martin Short.
He's so good. He really makes the show.
Yeah, without him, the show's. I mean, Fucking Selena Gomez is terrible. I don't care what anyone says, and she's awful. Terrible actress.
Why do you hate her?
Terrible actress.
Oh.
She has one note. I don't even think she can break one way or the other. I've watched her damn cooking show before. She ain't got no range. She's got one. She speaks in one note. She behaves in one note. She has no facial expression. Anybody could do this. I can do it. I'm doing it right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she's no good. Yeah. But Steve Martin,
he's fine.
He was better when he was young and goofy and strange. Now he's like a serious guy.
Is he
Martin Short's the king? The show should be about Martin. He should be the star, the only star.
I mean, in my mind, he is. All the funniest parts are because of him. Yeah.
I haven't watched all of it. So
is Steve Martin? He did Cheaper by the Dozen. You know that movie?
He did. Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah. Father of the Bride might be a more apt version of that thing that he did. It's a great movie.
Father of the Bride. Is that what the guy that says inconspicuous? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen it once. It has Andre the Giant in it.
Wait. No, we're not thinking of the same thing. Andre Giant is not in Father of the Bride. And if I'm wrong, then I'm really wrong.
Let's see. I don't know, man.
Did you look up what movie Steve Martin and Andre and the Giant are in?
Steve Martin, Father of the Bride. Oh, no, never seen this, bro. No.
Listen, I think that what you could do is just watch anything from Jiminy Glick instead of... You could save yourself a lot of time on Murders in the Building if you don't want to invest the time, the amount of episodes. You can just watch like 3
Jiminy
clips
Glick
of
is
Jiminy
so
Glick,
fucking funny, dude.
The best. All right, we got anything else? Is there anything going on? We're early. I just hit the computer. Are you? We're too early in the week, huh? Because we're doing this one early.
Yeah, but we do have Grimmichi event Friday.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
What time is that?
Don't know.
End of day, I would assume. Yeah, probably 4 to 7.
Yeah,
in that realm.
That feels right.
So feel free to come on by. RSVP via the email.
How do you get the email if you like? Did it go to everybody?
You can message us on Instagram. We'll send you a link or something. You know
Chris.
what I mean? We gotcha. That's about it, man. We might have some stuff coming this week. We might not. So we'll tease it on Thursday.
We're like in an in-between week, kind of. Yeah. But there maybe end of week. There might be a big one end of week.
Yeah. And that would be sick. Sick. So other than that, man, nothing else going on here at the shop. Nothing too crazy. We got a lot of orders to pack. So that'll probably realistically keep me busy for most of the remainder of the day. Did a big cleanup on Friday, so I feel like we can breathe in this bitch finally. You know what I mean?
It still needs fixed.
Golly.
I might go around and fix it even more.
It would be nice. That would be nice. So,
okay. All right. So we got a guest this week, so that'll be good for anyone that's been waiting for a guest. A guest. It's a fun one, I think.
Yeah, a buddy of ours.
Yeah.
Also, I have Neoguri for lunch, the Nong Shim spicy seafood shit. If you are a person that lives out of the country, i.e. Korea, or you have a plug on the Made in Korea Nong Shim product, please email me at chase@shopcanoeclub.com. I would like for you to pay me to send me some. I would like to pay you to send me some.
I'm excited to watch you get ripped off.
No.
Somebody listens going to take you.
Nope. So if you've got a plug on the Made in Korea shit, that's what I want. But other than that, thank you for listening. Me and Bruno got some shit we got to get to, so...
I'm typing in a password right now. Sorry. I didn't realize we were wrapping up that fast.
No, we've been going for, an hour and a half?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. All right. Well, hang with us. I think we got some cool stuff coming on YouTube. Actually, if you're listening to this now, and you've gone this far at an hour 13, first official teaser for the EG collab is coming end of week.
Yes.
So get ready.
Stoked on that. I got some stuff I got to do this week with
We've seen the footage. We know what it's looking like. It looks fucking great.
Oh man. I'm really stoked. I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of our crew that did the video and photo and this, that, and the other. We got a buddy doing some editorial writing for us, and I'm looking forward to getting this in a spot where we can release it, which we will. Again, maybe mid to late October, probably right around the time we get back from Japan. So
it's right when we get back from Japan. Yeah. So stay with us.
All right.
We'll see you later.